These two pieces of wood just came from my scrap shelf. That's definitely a scrap. It's a piece of maple. It's not very wide. It's pretty long. I'll be able to use this in this turning. This is a piece of bloodwood. This is wide enough to do something with, but I want to make a segmented turning. And I think the grain on this side is the nicest. So, and another reason that I want it that size is based on my cutting list right here. A lot of them are almost 13/16 wide, which this board is 13/16, so I could use it that way. Trouble is, I would run out of wood by the time I got 8 segments here. But my segments are only a ½ inch wide. I will probably stop right about there, and I'll have all the stock I need. So I'm all set up. I'm going to go ahead and rip these off, and I'll show you most of that, but it's going to be noisy. I'm going to turn my dust collector on and we'll do some cutting. Alright, I have all the strips cut, and each one of these is a different width. They're the same height, but a different width. I have my wedging sled set up to do 18 per row. This is my stop block. I have it set on this one at .999. So I'm going to show you cutting this one, but I won't show you the rest because it does look the same. First thing that I have to do, because it doesn't have an angle, is just cut this, then I can start flipping it and cut the rest of them. So let's get the dust collector going and we'll do that. Just for a reference and to clear this up, I'm not flipping that stick. I'm moving it from one fence to the other. It always has the same edge against the fence, no matter which fence you're using. What I'm cutting here is stock for spacers. There'll be a spacer in between each segment, and the spacer is parallel. You do not need to put an angle on it. So the dimension I have it set for right now is 1/2 inch to match the height of the segment. Now I'm cutting those to 1/8 inch thick. That's how wide the spacer will be. If you notice, there's a piece of cardboard standing vertical, and I have one of my magnets holding it in place. If I don't have that, every once in a while these small pieces try to kick back, and I just as soon have them stop by that cardboard instead of me. Now the tedious part of this glue up. I have to get glue on each segment, and I put it on the end of the segment, and then I'll put the spacer in between it and just keep making that sandwich until we have a 360-degree circle. I didn't talk about it back then because my voice was acting up again, and I think it was easier to do it this way. So I didn't show this on the first one, but what I'm doing is putting those rings under my glue press, and I put a nice flat board on top of it and press it down. I then slip some rubber bands around it and possibly a hose clamp if needed, and proceed to do the same thing on each ring. Alright, I have all the rings glued together and I need to flatten one side. I don't have a drum sander, I just really don't have room for one at the moment. But I do have a nice disc sander that will sand 14 inches wide. So I use that for flattening rings. And then I glue it in place, then I flatten the other side on the lathe and do it to the next one. If you don't have either one of those, a drum sander or a disc sander, and you do have a lathe, if you're going to do this, I'll show you what you can do on your lathe to have a disc sander that will do the job. So let's go ahead and sand one ring here, and I'll move over and show you the other one. So what I have here is a piece of 3/4 inch plywood and then a piece of MDF, 12-inch diameter, some 80 grit on it, fasten it on with a faceplate ring so you can just take it right off. So we'll just sand this, and I can use my dust collector over here. Check. It's nice and flat now. Let's go ahead and start gluing everything together. Okay, time to glue it all together. This is a piece of Wenge that I'm using for the base. Got my first segmented ring going on, and you're not going to see that, but I have a line here to where the glue goes, and I don't need to go past that. I'll get the camera turned around for the next one so you can see it. So no special lineup on this. The next ones will need to be staggered to get a nice pattern. I'll get this up here and just twist it a couple times and then tighten it up. We'll let that sit for maybe 15 minutes. Flatten that with my sanding stick, and we'll glue the next one on. I have 3 rings glued in place. I let them sit all night. These are only a 1/2 inch thick, so what I'll do is just put a rough shape on the inside and the outside, and then I'll probably glue 3 more on and do the same thing. We can probably do about 800 RPM. Alright, I'm going to stop right here and get some more glued on so I make sure I can get my shape. This is actually pretty thin right now. So what I'm doing is taking the spacer on this ring, skipping a ring and going down to the one under it and lining the spacers up so that they line up like so. I have 2 more rings to glue on, plus a top ring probably out of Wenge, and my pieces are very thin because I didn't have a lot of stock, so I cut them as close as I could. So I'm going to make this side round so I can put a steady rest on there and then clean up the inside. 1/2-inch bowl gouge, and I'll probably get about 800 RPM. Just going to make it round, that's all I'm going to do. And that sounds pretty round. Alright, same 1/2-inch bowl gouge and probably about 800 RPM. So I think I kind of remembered why I still had that piece of Bloodwood. It is very hard, and when you have segments, they're kind of staggered after you glue them together, and it's not the easiest thing to turn. But just wait to the end. I think these pieces are going to be beautiful. This is the last ring I'm gluing on. It also has 18 segments and it's made out of Wenge, and right now it's about 1/4 inch, and I think I'll take some of that off. Okay, it's time to clean up this piece of Wenge that I glued on here. I think I'll flatten it first, get it down to size because it's probably almost twice as thick as I want it to be. I'm going to get that shape on there, and then we'll move to the outside. This stuff chips really easy, so I've got to be extra careful. I'm using this little carbide. I find that it does a good job on the Wenge. We're getting close. Okay, that's there. Not bad. So now we're going to take some off the face. Alright, that's pretty close. I'm going to get this finished in here, and then I will make a disc to go in here and support it, and I can move the steady rest and finish the outside. Yeah, that's pretty close here. Alright, almost done with the shaping. I need to blend this ring in here. I've got a step in this one I haven't done, and here. And I left those like that till I got the inside finished, just to make sure I didn't get too thin. Now this is very hard wood, so I've got to make real gentle cuts so I don't chip it. 1/2-inch bowl gouge, about 980 RPM. That's feeling quite good. Should be it. Alright, I think it's time to do some sanding, but I think I'll do that tomorrow. Okay, time to do some sanding. I spent quite a bit of time with the scraper, so it's pretty smooth right now. I'll probably start it out with some 120 grit. I'll have the lathe running in reverse at about 320 RPM, and this will direct the sanding dust towards the input of my dust collector there. So that's one of the main reasons I do it, plus it's just more comfortable to do. Show you some of that. We'll turn the camera so you can see some of the inside, and when I come back we'll spray some lacquer on it. Alright, so the inside was a little bit difficult to do with sheets of paper, so I went ahead and used the 2-inch pad on my drill, and it's nice and smooth now, and we are ready for some finish. Alright, I'll be using spray on lacquer, probably 5 or 6 coats. And I'm pretty sure that Bloodwood will bleed. That's why I'm going to do light coats. Make sure that that doesn't go into that maple. And it looks like it's working just fine. But I have to do that maybe 2 or 3 times, and then we can put it on heavy. Six coats later. I have it flipped around on my coal jaws. I want to clean up that recess and just kind of dress it up a little bit. Alright, I'll get this all sanded up. I'll put some finish out here, but not in the middle, because I have to find something that I'll be able to sign on this dark wood and be able to see it. So I'll be right back. Well, I took this inside and I found out that this is a keeper. What do you think? Pretty cool looking, huh? Gotta love that Bloodwood. Here's the inside. I like that a lot. I almost think I like the inside more than the outside. So it's made from Bloodwood, Maple, and Wenge. It's a nice contrast. And the Bloodwood, each one of those segments has a lot of chatoyance in it. Enough that it just lights up when you see it turning on the turntable. It's pretty cool. Finished 6.5 inches in diameter. It's 4 5/16 tall, and the walls are real thin at 3/16. In one spot, maybe 2/3 down, it's maybe almost 1/4 of an inch, but not quite. But I wasn't going to mess with it at that point. I used clear lacquer sprayed on. I put 6 coats total. After the 3rd coat, I buffed it out with fine Scotch-Brite, and after the last coat, I buffed it out with the fine and then the ultra fine, the white Scotch-Brite. and it left a really nice finish. So I did put a recess on there, and I didn't show you that, but I did show cutting it out and blending it in. And I got finish on this area, but I didn't put any in the center because I want to be able to sign it, and I have to find something that will show up on that black wood because it is really dark. So I'll look around for that and get it signed. But I'm really happy with how this turned out, and I sure hope you enjoyed the video. If you did like the video, do me a favor, click that like button and feel free to leave a comment. Both of those things will really help my channel grow. I do lots of different types of turnings, and you never know what might be next, so be sure to subscribe if you want to see more. And a special thanks to all my current subscribers. You really mean a lot to me. So, till the next time, see you later.